If you are one of the people that voted for Trump Vance because they were the peace ticket, because you claimed that Harris Walls were going to launch us into a war with the Middle East, congratulations. Go ahead and enlist right now. Go ahead and volunteer and put your ass on those front lines because blood is already on your hands, anyways. I did not fuck around. So why do I have to find out? Tell me. Why do I have to find out? Millions of Americans did not fuck around to find this out, to find out that we're in World War III with no congressional approval.
I don't want to hear your cries. I don't want to hear your complaining. I don't want to hear your coulda, shoulda, wouldas because I don't feel no ways tired. I don't want to hear this is not what I voted for. This is exactly what you voted for. That man let you know time and time again that he don't fool up with black and brown people. And it's sad because you yearning so bad to have proximity to whiteness made you turn a blind eye to the disrespect, made you feel like you were bigger than the program, made you feel like all the insults that he spewed against your people didn't apply to you. So now y'all want to act shocked and appalled because he done called the National Guard, everybody and they mama, to scrape you and your family members off the floor of LA. No better
I'm
for
Jessica,
you.
and I am the proud child of immigrant parents. Growing up a child with immigrant parents, you have to mature a lot faster because of your circumstances. My dad was deported when I was around 7, 8. He used to take me to work with him. The day that he got deported, I was there with him. I remember being that young of an age and being able to just hold my emotions so well, being able to speak for my father, explaining to these officers, no, 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 I'm a citizen. I had to comply and be taken with them because if I called my mom at the time, I'd be putting her at risk. And I fully comprehended that at such a young age. I had to fully defend myself in that moment, and my parents prepared me for that. I had to go through the process of visiting my dad in jail. And as a child, you're sitting there and you're like, well, my parents aren't criminals, so why am I sitting here and why are they being treated like one? As a first gen, you understand that your parents sacrificed everything for you to be where you are today. My mom is super proud of everything that I accomplished, but none of that would ever have been possible without her because she raised me as a single mother. She taught me what it is to be strong, what it is to be resilient, and what it is to fight for what's right. My mom taught me that my situation is privilege, value where I came from, and to protect where I came from. We are here because someone sacrificed it all and risked it all to give us the life that we have today. As a Latino, whether you're first, second, third generation, we do not get the chance to forget. We can't forget. We have to remember our roots and stand for them because there's.
So I know there are a lot of people who are seeing what's happening with the mass deportations and they are horrified. And this may be their first interaction with the issue of immigration in a meaningful way. And as a Mexican American who has grown up in this world of immigration, I want you to understand one thing in particular. And to illustrate this point, I'm going to use the example of the Mexican community in the United States and a concept called Greater Mexico. But before we get to that concept, there's a little bit of history that you need to understand. In the early 1500s, Spain began a new colony in the Americas called the Viceroyalty of New Spain, and that territory would come to include, at its height, the entirety of modern-day Mexico and the western third of the modern-day United States. After the Mexican War of Independence from 1810 to 1821, wherein Mexican forces successfully overthrew Spanish rule, that colony became its own country, the Republic of Mexico. Over the course of that 300-year span of time, huge demographic changes occurred within that territory, one of which was the creation of the people that would become known as Mexicans, many of whom had indigenous ancestry from detribalized peoples. And then, after the Mexican-American War concluded in 1848, the boundaries between the United States and Mexico were renegotiated until eventually, over time, we got to what we have now. But here's the thing. After the renegotiation of those borders, many people who had been Mexican, who are now Americans, stayed on the land that their families had occupied since before Spanish colonization, and this proved a problem for the United States government. The problem was that the government wanted to maintain its ethno-state that prioritized wealthy, affluent white Americans above all others, and the Mexicans were a threat to that social order. You see, the American elite wanted the Mexican land and the labor, but not the culture, and so they set out using their private and government resources to enact their vision, which involved various forms of violence. So what does this all have to do with Greater Mexico? The idea of Greater Mexico, as coined by Americo Paredes, is this idea that anytime Mexicans inhabit a space outside of Mexico proper, and we enact our culture, we are creating a kind of metaphysical Mexico. We are, in a sense, transforming the place where we are. Now, you might be thinking that this sounds like what a lot of diaspora groups do when they come to the United States and they recreate aspects of their home culture, and you would be right for the most part. However, there is one thing that differentiates Greater Mexico from the practices of other groups that are not from the Americas. And that differentiation is that so much of the United States used to be Mexico, and it is still evident that that was the case. You can still see the fingerprints left behind by Mexico after the border was redrawn, and so the construction of Greater Mexico becomes this particularly resilient and powerful tool for resisting the white ethno-nationalist project of the United States. What's more, the government knows this, and so for almost 200 years it has been trying to get rid of any trace of Mexico or its people, and that's what you're seeing right now.
Immigrants, minorities, documented or undocumented workers are still being deported out of the state of Florida on mass scale. Why? Because now we have ICE deputizing Miami-Dade Police Department and help. Now, I did a top 5 before. I'm doing another top 5 now of jobs that you're never going to see an American citizen do once you've deported all the undocumented immigrants out of this state. Number 5, disaster relief. In case you didn't realize, disaster relief in this state is vital because we have a hurricane almost every single season. Guess what? Right now, as it stands, we're in hurricane season. So if you have all these illegal immigrants and undocumented immigrants either locked up or maybe just afraid to go to work because they're going to get snatched off the streets, who's going to go and help fix all of this stuff in a time of state of emergency? Number 4, you got sewage and sanitation. That's right, because guess what? No one else is going to sit there and want to do garbage pickup. You're not going to get Todd or Tucker or Sander to sit there and go and do garbage pickup, but guess who will? Jose, Carlos. These people that come here for a better way of life are willing to do whatever it takes to actually provide for their family. They're going to do it. Number 3, back of the kitchen help and staff. The ones that clean grease traps and wash dishes and put all the produce away and basically take care of the kitchen, those people. Number 2, the nursing homes. Guess what? Most Americans don't want to take care of their elderly, but guess who does? The immigrants and the minorities that come here to work in nursing homes to actually help take care of all these people. Are you going to take care of your mother and father once they're too old to do? No, but guess what? The immigrants will.
Okay, so if y'all ever worked at FedEx warehouse, you know that you have to go through security and then you have to go into the building. Y'all, they literally, and then you have your clock in card or you use your fingerprint. Y'all, they literally had to block the Haitians from literally clocking in. Even though they had told them listen, if you don't have, the proper paperwork or whatnot, you have to go. Y'all, when I tell y'all, them Haitians was still showing up to the job. They were still showing up to the job, y'all. I literally had to translate and let them know, you can't clock in because they have blocked you from the system. They are still trying to work. And I'm not even gonna lie, it was so emotional because to see them be so dedicated to a job, because a lot of them was still on the schedule, of course, so they still chancing their chances okay, well, let me still go in and make money for the rest of the week, and they literally had to do that. And it's bittersweet because I understand, if I say you can't work and you need these paperwork, why are you still trying to clock in? But then at the same time, though, they are going to be left without having a job for weeks, for months, for years. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The good thing is that, a lot of them, some of them, a few of them may not get deported. You know what I'm saying? They just may have to find under the table jobs, to basically, be able to take care of themselves and their families or whatnot. So that's the update. They are literally officially got rid of everybody there because it was a few of them that was literally hiding, not hiding, but you know what I'm saying? Literally in there, I hope I don't, they don't pay me no mind or they don't know, but they got your name on the paper, you gotta go. So that's the update. It was really, really sad. And I'm not even gonna lie, they let go all the people that literally that's hardworking, that's really hardworking. Now just imagine if all the Americans that are really making a big deal about Haitians being in America, I guess living the American dream, Imagine if y'all showed up to work like that. Imagine if y'all showed up every time y'all was on the, you know what I'm saying, schedule, every time, like, to do y'all work, to perfecting y'all job. America probably would be great again. So consider that the next time y'all want to sit here and say, oh, but this is not their country. They need to go to their country and build their country. Well, bitch, build your shit. Because, bitch, I'm tired of y'all lazy asses. Yeah, I said it.